It's time for Tales Around the Teapot.
Owen asked us to chat with you today about how we came to be partnered with YYFM. Astrid, Asbati, and Astrid Vauer. Yeah, I can't, you see, I'm from Glasgow, so you really have got to help me out. What is it, Lynn?
Asbati, Astrid Vauer.
Yeah, and it's an online radio platform. But to begin to share how we got involved with that, I'm going to actually read a poem I wrote for their second birthday anniversary in March. So this is called An Ode to YYFM, and an ode is just a poem. I think you might recognise the sort of style I'm doing it in. 7 little teapots scribbling in their books together every Friday in Caerphilly Olden Library, sometimes drawing funny looks. Stories galore leap from their pages, so many antics of people all ages. One day they swear a book there will be, but oh, that will happen, there's no way to see. 'Cause all are so busy with bits, this and that, compiling their genius, too much of a faff. Then one day the world stops, big trouble afoot, a global pandemic, attacking the roots of all that society holds near and dear, polluting the atmosphere with horror and fear. Their meeting place closes. It's all shutted down. This brings to their faces the deepest of frowns. What's gonna happen? They're all heard exclaim. Our lives interrupted. It's just such a pain. Their technical whiz kid, called Sonia the Brave, comes up with an idea sessions Friday to save. Teapots not daunted, joining the boom of wearing their PJs and meeting on Zoom. A book is compiled through months of confinement. Nothing they've tackled like this assignment. At last it is published with blowing of trumpets. Who'd have thought it from these tea-time crumpets? Glowing with pride at their little endeavour, they pat us their backs for producing this treasure. They settle back down to scribbling again. Ah, normality, 10 out of 10. Until they are spotted in newspaper local, in socially distanced photo, by young man with notions that they could serve portions of narrated emotions on this radio station that one day might reach nations to patients isolated in hospital spaces. With some trepidation, they rise to the task, recording their stories, a daunting ask, downloading, uploading, another hurdle. Through it all they keenly nurdle. All book stories now told, the future unfolds. And what will it bring for these teapots? Thanks to YYFM, there's no sudden amen, 'cause they are inclined with entreaties so kind for a story a week to continue. So that was a little synopsis of how it all happened. But as you heard in that poem, our journey started really with a group photo of us, socially distanced, as we were presenting the cheque from the money we made from the production of the book. And we presented it to Maggie's of Swansea, as Joan mentioned. And Stephen Davis who is from YYFM. He works in the hospital. He spotted that photo and he asked us if we would consider recording the stories in our book for the radio platform. Now, we didn't know anything about this radio platform, and we didn't understand really all about it. But Stephen had a vision as a way to improve the quality of life for patients in hospital, and especially in Ystred Monarch, where they're in separate rooms, aren't they? And so it would give them the opportunity to access radio content 24/7. So it wasn't a case of just once. They could go on and they could listen, and then they could go back and they pick it up again and listen once they knew how to do that, any time of the day or night. And that was what inspired the birth of YYFM. It's Stephen Davis's vision. He got it up and running. So we very naively said, oh yes, we'd love to explore this opportunity to broadcast. And Stephen set up a meeting with Steve Johnson, who is a senior lecturer in journalism and media studies at the University of South Wales. Now, Steve and his department, I'm sorry, it's Steve and Stephen. Steve and his department in the university had worked with Stephen Davis from very, very early on. Stephen had brought him on board. Well, we soon discovered something very important. YYFM, that radio station's content, is not broadcast live from a studio setting, where you would have the luxury of going in, hello to the sound technician, and then sit down, and that's how it used to be in my day anyway. You would broadcast and then you would go, and that would be it, broadcast. Oh, no. No, it wasn't as simple as that. We had no sound technician to press our buttons. And we had to concentrate on learning how to do this. And I tell you, it really was fun and games, wasn't it, Joan?
Yes, very.
Yeah, we had to learn how to record our own stories in our own homes. Now, you know what goes on in your home. Kettles boil, people knock the door, telephones ring, helicopters fly over just when you don't want them to. And in the middle of all that, you have got to try and find a space to record, to bring your story to life, and to press all the right buttons to get it recorded. Well, it was a whole new learning curve for us. The students that we worked with from the University of South Wales, which is such a joy. It's such a joy, these young people. I mean, they just think totally different to us about phones and things like that. You know, we're really, what are we? We're not good.
No.
Anyway, so they said to us, oh, it's fine. All you have to do is put pillows all round you, cushions all round you, and then put a blanket over your head, and then you can record. Well, of course, you know, blankets over heads, I mean, arms going in different directions. I mean, I've got osteoarthritis, so it wasn't easy. And the number of times I've fallen out the end of the bed trying to do this and record and concentrate on trying to get the story across. Oh, it was very, very difficult, wasn't it, Joan? But we did it. We did it, didn't we?
Yes.
We did.
After about 20 attempts at one.
Yes. We became our own sound technicians, and as Lynn knows, we're still not there. We're still learning. We do some editing, badly, some days well. And as Joan says, how many takes we have to do sometimes is unbelievable. Once recorded, we've got the piece, right? So it's on our computer. We've got this piece of thing recorded now, this story. That's not the end of it. we've got to get it to a Dropbox. Do you know what a Dropbox is? It's okay. I've had boxes in my life that I've dropped things into, but this is nothing like that at all. Yes, and then it's a special place that you go and you drop information, you drop files from your computer. So we learned to do that.
Eventually.
Yes. And then we discovered that we also then had to learn how to advise the students who were taking this content and getting it to the broadcast stage. So we had to email with the content, so with our files. So it was really quite an experience. But I'm really proud to say I was the only one recording at the start. That's not what I'm proud about. We have managed to master this to a certain degree. What do you think, Lynn? We're getting there. We're getting there. Considering that we are not at all with this type of thing, we have managed to get there. As I said, I was the only one recording to start with, simply because I've got a bit of theatre background. But by the end of May this year, we had 5 different ones of our teapots with a recorded story going out. They'd recorded it, they'd uploaded it, they'd got it to the content manager, and I am just so proud of them all. And because I love team. I don't want to be the only one who knows how to do this. I firmly believe in, if I am the only one who knows how to do this, and I pop my clogs, which is going to happen, I'm 79, I'm 80 next year, that is not a success. Success has to have a successor. So we're all getting there, aren't we?
We are.
Yeah, I don't know.
That,
yeah,
yes.
You are indeed.
Very.
I love seeing a team come together,
Yeah.
and that's what we've learned to do. We have to give thanks to Steve Johnson, who is the most patient person, the senior lecturer in the university, and his students. Alo and Lauren started first with us, and they've gone on to other jobs. Jackson and Cassie were instrumental in getting us to where we are with this process today, and we owe them a big thank you. It's such a privilege to work with these young people and Steve. The station, this is a radio station that's working from a hospital in your area, actually won an award in March of this year. The Aneurin Bevan University Hospital Board gave them an award for their work in partnering with the community. And I believe it was actually through Aisha Lippiett, wasn't it, Owen? It was through Aisha Lippiett from Caerphilly County Borough Council that we actually came to know about one another. So partnership is happening all across Caerphilly with YYFM. And actually, YYFM radio station, because it's online, is actually being listened to in Australia and Canada.
Yes.
I don't know who by, but, if they can get on there, it's great. And I'm going to show you afterwards what you can do to listen to it. Moving on now, one of the other things we needed to get in place before broadcasting was our signature tune. Because at the beginning of every program on television, there's a sort of ditty, isn't there? Or there's a tune. And you say, oh, yeah, I know what that is. You know what EastEnders tune is. You know what another tune is. So we had to find something that was very, very personal to us. So we started to look around and ask around different ones who we knew who had music ability, who could do something for us. And lots of people offered things, but you know when you hear something, you just know if it's right or it's not right, and it sort of sums up you as a person. So that didn't happen. So there I am one night in my kitchen. My kitchen is part of my dining room, it's all one room, my sitting room. And I am standing thinking, I've got to come up with something now for this signature introduction. My husband has prostate trouble. And I was boiling the kettle and pouring it 28 times to get this bit recorded. He spent his whole time running in and out. And I was having to say to him, shh, as well. So anyway, so I would like to play that now. That's called an intro, but I'll play that in a minute. But we also learnt about stings, not bees or wasps. A sting is a piece of music. Is this right, Lynn? It's a little piece of music that can be added to or taken away. A sting is just a sample of that music. And we got our sting from Dan in Red Rock? No? Studios, Dan. Yeah, Dan, Rec Rock. I went up there with one of the students one day. I mean, I don't think this young guy knew what to expect when I arrived with a tin of toffees for him. I think he looked at me and he thought, what on earth is she on about? But anyway, he gifted us a sting because we'd have had to have paid for it otherwise. Anyway, I'm going to play our YYFM signature introduction before Joan reads her next piece. And you'll hear a little piece of music at the end, and that's Dan's sting, and I want you all to appreciate it, okay? Because he was very good to give it to us. But the first bit took 28 takes with my husband running backwards and forwards, and you'll know why in a minute when you hear it, okay? So I'm going to play that, and Joan is going to then read her next story. So you ready, Joan? I'll play our introduction.
It's time for Tales Around the Teapot. Just for you.
It's not very loud, is it?